Hey guys, welcome to my channel. As we all know, yesterday marks the first anniversary of Delta came up, and they went on SpaceX yesterday evening around 19 o'clock UTC, which is 8 p.m. Nigerian time. I don't know what 19 o'clock UTC is in your home country, but they discussed some few they touched on few topics yesterday. They talk about API, they talk about the KYC prelude. They also talk about when the real KYC is coming. They also part of the discussion. I recorded part of the discussion before my phone went off yesterday evening. If not, I would have captured all. But you guys can listen to the rest of the video.
Of your time and effort that you guys put into that.
Um,
Um,
so,
so
going
going
further here
further
on
here
this
on
letter,
this letter,
we see
we
that,
see that
yeah. So
yeah.
there's
So
mentions
there's
here
mentions here
of a
of
couple
a
of
couple of
dApps.
dApps.
There's
You
the
know, there's
ICP
the ICP
crowdfunding, there's the
crowdfunding, there's the
roadmap,
roadmap,
obviously
obviously
Socio and
Socio and
D
OnePass,
News,
D News,
and one that
and
I
one that
think
I think
a lot of you
a lot of you
guys
guys
want
want
questions
questions
about, and
about,
something
and
that we're
something
going to
that we're
cover
going to
here
cover
and
here
right
and
now
right now
is the
is the
KYC
KYC
prelude,
prelude,
right?
right?
I feel like a
I
lot
feel
of you
like a lot
guys
of you
want
guys want
questions and
questions
answers
and
on that.
answers on that.
So
So
basically,
basically,
I think
I
Ants
think ants
can fill in
can fill in
the holes
the
here,
holes
but
here, but
in short,
in short,
the KYC
the KYC
prelude
prelude
is
is
for us to
for us to
understand
understand
which sort
which
of
sort of
ID
ID
each country
each country
needs, or
needs,
which
or
ID
which
is the
ID is
easiest
the
for each
easiest for
country
each country
to
to
use
use
for us to be
for
able
us
to
to be able to
KYC,
KYC,
that person
that
from that
person from that
specific country,
specific
right?
country,
So
right? So
I'm from
I'm from
Norway,
Norway,
and
and
here in Norway,
here in
the
Norway, the
easiest way
easiest way
to be able to
to be able to
KYC me would
KYC
be
me would be
with a
with a
Norwegian ID
Norwegian
card.
ID
You can
card.
also
You
use
can
a
also use a
passport,
passport,
but the
but
easiest
the
will
easiest will
probably be an
probably
ID
be an
card
ID
or a
card or a
passport. So
passport. So
basically,
basically,
what the
what the
KYC prelude
KYC prelude
is a place
is a
where
place where
me as a
me as a
Norwegian
Norwegian
can,
can, you know,
take a
take a
photo of
photo of
my
my
ID
ID
and help
and help
out
out
the
the
AI that is
AI
basically
that is
going to
basically going to
go
go
over,
over
the ID
the
card or
ID
the
card or
Norwegian
the Norwegian
passport and
passport
see,
and see, you know,
what
what
information it
information
needs
it
to be
needs
able
to be
to
able to
help the
help
AI
the
out,
AI
so that
out, so
the
that the
KYC
KYC
process can
process
be
can
more
be more
seamless and
seamless and
more hassle
more
free.
hassle free.
And
And
yeah, so I
yeah,
think you
so I
can
think you
take
can
over
take over
from here,
from
Ants.
here,
You have the
Ants. You
more
have the more
technical know-how
technical know-how
of how this is
of how
going to
this
go
is
down.
going
But
to go down.
I
But
think I did a
I
good
think I did
job
a good
at
job
explaining
at
it.
explaining it.
Yeah, I mean, you explained the core gist of it, so I'll only explain the minor tweaks here. So, Wiggles already explained what's the sole purpose of KYC Prelude, and I guess it's important to communicate it as well because a lot of people have confuse KYC Prelude with actual KYC. There is a lot of difference in here. KYC Prelude is basically an attempt for the core team to understand what's the most preferred documentation for users across different countries. Like Mr. Wiggles mentioned, it's the Norwegian ID card in Norway. That's the most common and most preferred, I guess. In certain other countries, maybe Australia, it might be the driving license. I don't know. In Nigeria, it can be the NIN card. I don't know if I got the name correct. You can correct me. And I guess in different countries, we have different sorts of documentation. So on KYC Prelude, users are completely independent to submit their proposals. Some of them might submit driving license, some of them might submit their passport, some of them might submit their photo ID card. So they're free to submit their proposals, and based on the number of votes those proposals get, will ultimately finalize the, we can go ahead with this documentation. Like this documentation got like a lot of votes, so it's clearly popular in that country. So what will happen is, let us say if the NIN card in Nigeria is finalized, so we'll be training our AI systems accordingly based on the NIN card, and once the KYC actually starts on Delta, most of the users will be able to achieve KYC with the AI system alone, so it should not bother them much. Of course, there will be manual involvement for other types of documents. Now, some of the users mentioned that what if we have a certain other type of documentation that receives a lot of traction as well? So the fact is, for now, we'll only be prioritizing the document that will receive the most number of votes. But at the same point in time, if there are other types of documentation that receive a lot of traction or votes, they'll be considered for AI training purposes as well. So based on the proposals as well as the votes received therein, we'll finally decide on how much time it will take for the AI systems to be trained, and accordingly we'll finalize if it's the right time for KYC. And yeah, I would like to cover a few things. Basically, I would like to mention the bugs with KYC Pre. I understand there are people from countries like Congo who are not able to access KYC Pre whatsoever. Then some of the users have reported that they cannot access KYC Pre. That's also the users have reported that they cannot submit samples on KYC Pre. I know it's kind of infuriating for you, it's just as infuriating for me, and we've been trying everything in our power to resolve the issues. But based on my latest discussion with Haida is actually more proactively working on another data that has been covered in the open letter. So right now he has paused active development because he believes the basic foundation for KYC Pre has been set. But if anyone out here struggles with any particular sort of issue on KYC Pre, you please feel free to reach out to the moderators on Discord, and please ensure that you share them the screen recordings showcasing that issue, because it really helps us figure out what's the core cause of the issue. It also helps us debug the same. Some of the users reach us out with text messages, and it's kind of difficult just reading a text message as to what is happening. So we highly encourage that if you're struggling with any of the issues, please share the screen recordings on our Discord server. It really helps us a lot. It might take time for resolution, but in the end of the day, the issues will be resolved.
Yeah, that is correct. Now, I also just want to mention that an estimate on when the actual KYC is going to take place will also be mentioned here during this phase. I'm going to hold it off just for a bit longer here. It will probably also get posted on Discord. There will probably be some discussions around that. And this is just an estimate, and no, it's not going. It seems at the current moment that no, it's not going to take 5 years. It's not going to take 4 or 3 years. Okay, guys. So I'm going to hold that off just for a moment, just to build up some suspense and have some understanding around this. Like it is, fairly hard for us to make like an estimate. Like further in time, as I've said, like we need time to create the systems that are going to be able to handle all the KYC submissions. So there will definitely be issues and technical difficulties around this. So I do need everyone to fully understand that and not give us that hard of a time when it comes to a specific date. But I can give you like a rough estimate on when it will take place. All right. So moving on here on in the open letter that we are going through, these are some things that are planned for the future, and what is been what as I understand what Haida is going to be working on fairly soon, or he might have actually started on some of these things is the API doc. It is Lucky Bit, and smart trading contracts, which are very interesting subjects right here. So, Ant, can you go ahead and talk a bit about the API doc that he has written about here in this open letter?
Yeah. So before we actually reveal the KYC Day, I think it is very important for you to understand what has actually been planned for this year. So starting with the API doc, API.doc will basically be your foundational cornerstone that will basically be created to help the budding dApp developers on Delta to create dApps. Basically, over the last 3 months, we have received a number of requests from a number of developers on Delta. Like, they can handle the front-end side of the development pretty well, but when it comes to the back-end integration, programming, and hosting on ICP canisters, they're a little bit clueless, and obviously some of them have required a lot of technical assistance. Actually, we have even created a separate Telegram group for the users who would like to contribute dApps on DAppSquare. So in case they would require any form of technical assistance, they can easily reach us out. But besides reaching us out on the Telegram group for assistance, this foundational, this simplified guide will basically assist you with anything and everything you need to start creating dApps on DAppSquare. For example, if you're creating a game, and if you would like to have a user authentication system, but what you want is that the nickname gets fetched from this user's Delta's nickname, that can be fetched via following simplistic instructions on API.doc. And there are similarly many other sets of instructions that can be incorporated across your dApp. So basically, this will serve as a very simplistic guide for anyone and everyone who is willing to publish dApps on DAppSquare. Our primary objective behind creating API.doc is that before we actually get to the KYC phase, we would like to have a number of dApps on DAppSquare, not just from the core team, but from the community members as well, because that will really help strengthen the integrity, as well as it will add to variation across the dApps on DAppSquare. So API.doc has been created keeping that in mind. And of course, if you are stuck at any point in time, if you're not able to understand anything that has been mentioned in the API.doc, we of course have Mr. Justcode, who has spent the better part of the last year understanding how to deploy dApps on ICP canisters. If at any point in time you feel stuck, please reach out to him. He's in a position right now to speed you with everything you need to know about the backend stuff. So yeah, Jessica, if you would like to talk about this, or I guess it would be better if you talk more about smart trade contracts. So I guess when we'll be discussing smart trade contracts, Justcode will take over and carry out with the rest of the explanation as to how he can assist anyone who wants to start working on dApps on the DAppSquare. The second dApp that we're going to be working on, actually, this is the one that is currently being worked on, and it's Lucky Bit. So initially, I didn't approve the idea yet.
We're able to understand, or sometimes we get just simply shocked here as core team members, seeing how the community stands up, and the project actually moves forward because of the community. So it will be an interesting aspect to see like how this will play out, if this will be a successful dApp, or if it will take a bit more time to develop, and to see how
to see the active progress of this dApp. And as Ansel said, he thinks that this dApp might be available here in 1 to 2 months. So this is something that you can see, or something that you will be able to see, fairly soon. In the next 1 to 2 months, you will be able to see this in the Delta Game app. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
also
also
want to
want to
go
go
over
over
some
some
questions
questions
because I know
because
that
I
the
know that the
questions part
questions
is
part
also
is
going
also
to
going
be
to be
fairly
fairly
long.
long.
So
So
I want
I
to
want to
go
go
and
and
start on
start
that.
on
But
that. But
before we do
before we
that,
do that,
we will
we will
obviously
obviously
reveal
reveal
the
the
estimated
estimated
KYC
KYC
date,
date,
or not
or
the
not
date,
the date,
but
but
the like the
like the
time.
time.
And
And
there is
there
actually
is
one more
actually
thing
one of the
about
things they discussed
all
here
of the
all of
work
yesterday
the
that he has
work that
put
is
he has
in.
put in.
smart
He can be
contract. I will actually
free
look
to do
into
that
it properly and then
if he has
narrate it,
time.
make a
I
video
know
about
he
it,
has
explain it
permissions to
properly.
do that right
I,
here.
I'm yet to
So
listen to the full conversation because I didn't finish with them
Yeah, hello
yesterday.
everyone. Yeah,
So yeah,
hello
that's
everyone.
part of it.
yes,
Hello.
yes,
Yes,
hello.
yes,
We
hello.
can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
happy data day
happy
to
data day to
everyone of
everyone
us.
of us.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as
So as
they have
they
sta-
have
as
Please don't forget to
Andy
subscribe to my
mentioned,
channel,
so
hit the like button, and drop your
I was
comment. Ask
actually
any
looking
question.
at
I
what
will
is
be
this
there
smart
to reply you.